Welcome to Gotta Run. This is Will Sanchez. My very special guest today is Kristin Golat. She runs for the Staten Island Athletic Club. She's a school teacher. She's more than a school teacher. She also is representing Team MR8, commemorating the memory of Martin Richard, the youngest victim of the Boston Marathon terrorist attack of 2013. I'm thrilled to have Kristin as a guest.
Thanks, Will. I'm happy to be here.
Kristin, before we get into the story of Martin Richard, you're wearing the team shirt. So I guess the 8 stands for number 8, right, for his age.
Yes, he was unfortunately just shy of his 9th birthday before he was killed.
Okay. Well, it's a sad story, but let's introduce you to our audience. Tell us where you were born, a little bit about your childhood.
Okay, I was born and raised in Staten Island, New York. I was a basketball player my entire life. I played basketball at St. Peter's Girls High School. We made appearances at state championships. We were undefeated on Staten Island, and I always wanted to run, but basketball was my first love growing up. And when I was in college, I walked away from it, said I'm going to work, I'm going to try to run. And then when I started running, I actually got hurt. I had years of basketball injuries that built up in my ankle, and one day my foot just gave out on me. Tore a lot of tendons, a lot of ligaments, had to have surgery.
Did this happen when you were in college?
Yes, I was just finishing my bachelor's when that happened.
Okay, so you decided to go to college and give up your basketball career to concentrate on your studies. Since you were a school teacher, was it school teaching related?
Well, I actually was going for psychology. I thought that program at the College of Staten Island was wonderful, and I felt that would help me with my teaching career.
Okay, so you knew at that time you were going to be a teacher?
Yes, it was either teaching or law enforcement, and I chose teaching.
Because you have family in
Yes.
law enforcement?
Yep.
Your dad, I think?
Yes. My dad is a retired sergeant from the NYPD.
Oh, well, thank you for his service.
Thank you.
And what was your mom?
My mom worked for the Port Authority. She did actually work in the World Trade Center, but luckily enough, she had retired before both the 1993 and the 2001 attacks.
Oh, my gosh. Boy, there's a lot of drama in your life here.
Yes, there's a lot going on there.
You're back in college. You're concentrating on your psychological studies, and then something happened in your senior year. Your foot gave out?
Yeah, I remember it was the summer before my senior year, walking at a summer camp, and I just fell. No pain, but my foot was a little loose. Didn't sit right and was dangling a little, but again, there was no pain. So I went on with my day, made an appointment with my soon-to-be surgeon, and he said, okay, you tore your tendons, you tore your ligaments, you're gonna have to have surgery. So I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I have school I have to finish, I have my part-time jobs. So my winter break in my senior year, I went under the knife, he repaired everything. It was about 8 stitches and 8 staples later. I was home resting, I was in bed for 3 weeks, and when I was laying in bed, I said, when I get up, I'm going to do what I always wanted to do, I'm going to run. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to do something spectacular. I was not going to get up and run a 5K. Not that there's anything wrong with the 5K. I love them. Not going to run a 10K. I'm going to run a half marathon.
Okay.
When I presented that idea to everybody, still in my cast on crutches, everybody thought I was completely crazy. So I said, oh, well, tough. I already registered for the New York Road Runners Staten Island Half Marathon. So again, still in my cast, registered for this race, thinking, how am I going to train for this? I was not even given clearance to work out yet. So I eventually moved to the boot. I was walking around, back at work, back at school. Everything was great. When my physical therapist gave me clearance to run, I always jokingly say this, like Forrest Gump, I got up and ran one day and I didn't stop. I kept going.
Oh my gosh. So you got to the starting line of the Staten half, injury-free, well, relatively injury-free?
Yep, I was injury-free. I was ready to go. The only problem was because I was such a rookie runner and I wasn't a member of any club, I had a horrible training schedule that I made up on my own. I was severely overdressed. Yes.
It was a hot day?
It was well, to a runner, it was a hot day. I knew it was going to rain that day. And it wasn't heavy rain, but I had long sleeves on, I had an undershirt, I had the t-shirt of the first charity that I was running for, I had a hat on, I had a little scarf around my neck, and
you were overheated.
Overheated within the first half mile.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
So fortunately, I gave everybody on Richmond Terrace in Staten Island a show. I stripped except for my t-shirt, again, supporting the foundation I was running for. And after that, I just kept going.
Which foundation were you running for at that time?
I was running for the American Cancer Society. I wanted to raise money to honor my grandfather who had passed from cancer, and
Okay.
that was the first time I was able to fundraise with running because, again, since I had the surgery and, oh, hey, I'm running a half marathon, I thought because I'm drawing so much attention by doing this, why don't I do something good with it?
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up raising $1,000.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so you got your first half under your belt. You're about to finish school, I guess, or you did finish school.
Yeah, I was in my master's program when I did
Master's
that.
program. So, and now you were set on a career on teaching.
Yep.
So what was your first job was like?
My first teaching job, I actually started, I was doing observation hours and internship hours, and I was interested in becoming a substitute teacher with the New York City Department of Education,
Mhm.
and I was nominated to become a sub. I filled out the paperwork, and a couple months later, I was a substitute teacher, and it was great.
Interesting. So a substitute teacher is you go where it's needed, or what? How's that
Yep.
work?
Well, you're in the system, and they will call you as early as 5 o'clock in the morning on some days, and they'll say, oh, we have a teacher out, would you like to come in and sub? Or they would call you sometimes 10 minutes before the school day starts. Are you available? Would you like to sub? And sometimes it'll be the quickest 10 minutes of my life getting dressed, but I was there.
My goodness. Well, obviously, got to be in the same borough. They're not going to send you. You were in
Yeah.
Staten Island. Not going to send you to the Bronx, right?
Oh, no, I mean, I've gotten phone calls for the Bronx, and I just said, oh, thank you, but no thank you. I'm not going to be able to get to you anytime soon.
Oh. So what kind of subject matter did you teach?
My license is in elementary. I have subbed in elementary, and I've subbed in the middle school. I have taught in specialized schools for children with autism, and then I moved on to a middle school, and now I'm going to be teaching at the elementary level again.
Oh, teaching autism. Do you need specialized knowledge for that?
You definitely need your license in special education, which I do have, and any additional training or certifications will help you with that.
Oh, cool. And this is all in Staten Island?
Yes. That was when I finished subbing. I moved on to Eden 2 School for children with autism.
Okay. Well, at some point, because we introduced you as a member of the Staten Island Athletic Club,
Yes.
either they found you or you found them. Is there a story on your joining them?
Yes, actually. I was very lonely running, and I do like to run by myself. The only person I will run with is my brother, and he's not a runner, but we're trying. We're getting there. And it was right after the Boston Marathon bombing, actually. They had a fun run to run in memory of everybody who had passed in Clove Lakes Park, my local park. And I saw a friend of mine who I've known for years, and she had this shirt on that said Staten Island AC, Staten Island Athletic Club. And I thought, wow, that's a pretty cool shirt. What is that? So she said it's a running club in Staten Island. So, of course, I'm thinking, they have stuff like this? Later that night, she text messaged me the information, and I joined, and I never looked back.
Oh,
They've become a second family to me.
Well, good for you. Oh,
Thank you.
cool. So this was after the Boston attack. So obviously you were very moved by it.
Yes.
So tell us about you running in honor of Martin Richard, which I believe was the youngest victim from that
Yes.
terrorist attack. Well, tell us about Martin and how did you learn of him?
I remember the day of the Boston Marathon bombing, and I was home, and my dad called. He said, turn on the TV. They thought it could have been a gas leak in a restaurant. And when I put CNN on, they said there was an explosion at one site, an explosion at the other site. Being a New Yorker and experiencing 9/11, I was 11 years old. I said, no way. Somebody did this on purpose. And I was just as an American and as a runner, I was just so hurt. And I had said, I have to do something. I have to get involved. So again, that's when I received the invite on Facebook to go to the fun run in Clove Lakes, join the club. A year later, back in June 2014, I ran the Boston 10K. Always wanted to visit Boston, thought it was great. And I was just so moved when I went to the site of the bombing, and they have 4 crosses for the 4 victims who died that week down in Boston. And just when I looked at Martin's face on the cross, I said to myself, I was like, you know what, this angers me. This could have been one of the students that I teach, and everybody who knows me knows how much I love being around children, how much I love my students, and I tell them all the time, if I could adopt all of you as my own, I would. But it just hurt me, and I started doing research on the computer, and I said, what can I do that's good? Instead of sitting here and being angry and upset over something I have no control over. And that's where I found Team MR8. The foundation was established that year, back in 2014, and they had charity teams running in Boston, Chicago, and New York that year at the marathon. And I had already qualified for the 2015 New York City Marathon. I was running the Philadelphia Marathon that year. And I said, you know what, I'm going to fill out an application for the 2014 New York Marathon for this team. And I thought, I'll never get selected. I never get selected for anything like this. And lo and behold, first week of August 2014, I received the email. And I thought, oh my goodness, I can't believe I was selected to run for this team. I was so happy. And then the next concern was I had to raise $3,000 for the charity. Could I do that between August and November? Another wave of panic came in. So that's a lot of money. I'm like, wow. But I had a friend of mine who works for the Staten Island Advance, which is our local paper. She did a whole article on it. Beautiful, beautiful article she wrote. My Staten Island Athletic Club family wanted to help me out. And just the Staten Island community in general, sports community, my friends, everybody wanted to help me. And again, the limit was $3,000. I raised over $4,000.
Oh, cool.
So it was very moving for me. And I struggled that year at the marathon. The weather was a little shaky. It was cold.
But this time you had the Staten Island Athletic Club helping you. Before we did that half, you did it by yourself, overdressed. Now you were getting probably expert advice.
Oh, yes, definitely. Have a good friend of mine. He knew my father for many years, Charlie. He always gives me great advice with running. Our running club president, Mark Vogt, he's always there for us, always giving advice. And there's so many members that are there helping everybody out, and they're a family to me.
Oh, cool. So I guess you probably get called Mr. 8 a lot with the shirt.
It's actually a running joke in the club because when I went to start at a start line at the Verrazano Bridge, somebody on the loudspeaker went, Mr. 8! And I had a lot of friends there who were laughing, and as I was approaching the finish line, I said, oh, it's my first New York. I want to hear what this sounds like at the finish. Took out my headphones. Someone went, Mr. 8! And I was just like, really? I'm like, MR8, not Mr. 8. But it was, it's funny. We joke around about that a lot.
I could see that. Oh, I guess Team MR8 probably had some of their training where you can join the other members of the team and run with them, as well as run with Staten Island. Is that how it worked?
Yeah, there was 20 members when I joined on the New York City 2014 team. Most of them were in Massachusetts. There were a few people down in New York, but we do receive emails once a week with training advice, and there was always the option to meet up. But again, as I said before, I typically run by myself. It's my zen. It's my me time.
Okay. Well, you know, in the news recently or currently, women running by themselves seems to be under attack. So something to be very conscious of.
Yes.
In your training, did you did all your training by yourself?
Yes.
Or yes, really?
Yep. I do all my training by myself. And another movie I reference often is Rocky. Sometimes I'm running through the streets and there's people beeping the horns, waving at me, people cheering for me. It's everybody I know. Typically Staten Island Athletic Club members, but I have my Rocky II training moments.
Oh, wow. That is fantastic. I'm sure the family of Martin Richard probably contacted you. I mean, they probably contacted all the team members. That's something very special. Now, what is the purpose of the Martin Richard? Is it to raise funds to help other kids? How does it work?
And this is why this charity means so much to me as a teacher. The welfare of children is the most important thing in my life. It's my life's calling. It's what I was meant to do. What the Martin Richard Foundation does is they do collect funds based on these donations with the marathon running or general donations as well online. And what they do is they redistribute that to sports programs for children in need, primarily in Dorchester, where Martin was born and raised. I know they give to the Boston Police Athletic League, the Boys and Girls Clubs in the area, and just various charities that need the money that does help children. They're also building Martin's Park up in Massachusetts in memory of Martin. It's going to be a nice little safe haven for families and children to play, and it's going to be a beautiful space.
Excellent, excellent. Now you did it in 2014.
Yep.
You said, are you going to do it again? Or did you do it in 2015 as well?
2015 I actually ran for Fred's team, which is through the New York Roadrunners in memory of Fred LeBeau, the former New York Roadrunners founder. his charity. The money goes to a memorial, Sloan Kettering Cancer Center.
Right.
I do have family members that passed and friends of mine who have been affected by cancer. And I just, something different. But this year, when I started filling out my application for the marathon, getting my bib ready, I said, I have to do another year with MR8. That's really where my heart is.
The 2016. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Was it again another $3,000?
Well, actually, I did get in this year with the New York Road Runners 9+1 program, but you could still run for the charity as well. And I only have to raise $1,000 this time, which wonderful. I already raised over $1,000.
Cool. That
still,
takes the pressure off.
Oh yeah, pressure's completely off. Still collecting, but I tell everybody they don't have to, but it's just a lot of generous people out there. I'm also involved with the Brighton Kiwanis Club on Staten Island, and their message, again, means everything to me. It's let's do good for the children. They've been so generous. Their members have been so generous, and they're just great people all around.
Okay. What's the name of the club? The Kiwanis?
The Brighton Kiwanis Club.
Okay,
yep.
Cool. Now for this year's marathon, I don't know if you've done it before, you're going to have a special bracelet that you give to your donors? Or
yes.
that you wear in honor of your donors or something like that?
I wanted to do something to thank my donors besides a personalized thank you card. So I made the rubber bands where you could personalize your own messages on them. So with this particular rubber band, it just says Run K Run, which is my Instagram name, and I call that my little, my personalized running name, and it says New York City 2016 on there. So if you donate $1, $10, $100, you get one of these.
Oh, excellent. Oh, you get one of these. All
yes.
right.
And you get one of these too.
Oh, I get one. That's right. Yeah. I did a donate. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, and thank you for your donation.
Thank you so much. Did you do the similar things in prior years? Did
yes.
you have donations where you gave out little trinkets or but mementos?
Yep, I did. Same thing, just the wording was different on my 2014 bracelets, and the color was just a tad bit darker. So now those who have my 2014 bracelet and 2016 know the difference.
It is a perfect child size. Good thing I had a small wrist.
Yeah, right. Yeah, me too.
All right. All right. So how is your training going for this year?
It's been going well. Have been struggling. It's been very hot the last month. And I mean, I've been up at the crack of dawn out there running. I plant my Gatorade bottles throughout the neighborhood.
Staten Island again?
Yes, back in Staten Island. And my long runs have been on point. The only thing different I've been doing this time, I have been cross training. I was notorious for not cross training, and it's making a big difference. I go to the CKO kickboxing gym, but I modify it. I don't kick the bag because I'm afraid I'm going to hurt my shins and my ankles. So I do more punches, more ab work, more plyometrics, and it's definitely changed my body. Since I started running, I lost about 30 pounds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Started running, so this is back in 2012.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So you're happy with that?
Oh yeah, I've been ecstatic, and it's nice to fit into clothes that fit me in high school about 8-9 years ago. So it's been different. I'm starting to see fat loss and muscle gain, and you know, nothing too crazy.
Oh, yeah, well, you know.
So.
Yeah, nothing too crazy, and you like hitting the bag.
Oh, it's great.
Punching. You're not kicking yet, just punching it.
Just punching it. So it's great. Different types of punches, elbow strikes, do all kinds of crazy moves.
Interesting. Is this almost like self-defense training? You know?
It can be. I'm a little awkward, so I'm not very coordinated with my feet, so I'm working on that. But I definitely upped my technique with throwing a punch.
Oh, okay. Well, take up a few dancing lessons. That will get
that'll
your feet coordinated.
Right.
Now, when you're doing this boxing, is it for the trainer or?
The CKO gym, I know there's one in Brooklyn, and there's about 3 to 4 gyms in Staten Island. There's one trainer leading a class of, it never exceeds about 25 people, sometimes it's 7 or 8 of us. And each trainer provides their own workout with the class. So some use the hand weights, some use yoga techniques, some do a lot of core work, some do more arm work, and they're all fabulous.
Okay, so it's customized to what you need. So, so I want to work on my arms or my legs or my core.
Yep.
So, okay.
And then I know which trainer to go to.
All right. Now, let's go back to school. You're athletic, and your kids are mostly, what age?
About elementary age, so they're about like 9, 10 years old.
Oh, okay. Those are the dangerous years. They seem to know everything.
Oh, yes, definitely. But they do have interesting stories.
They do. So do they know you're an athlete, and how do they relate to you?
Yes, I always make it clear I'm an athlete. That's usually where I connect with the students. I did teach 6th grade last year. I had a wonderful group of children in Brooklyn, and when I was telling them about marathon running, some of them, oh, I ran a marathon too. And I was just like, you did? Whoa. And in my head, I'm like, no way. Also on the sports front, I told them I played basketball, and they thought, oh, this girl can't play basketball. Until I took them to the gym one day. Then they learned. But that was funny. And I'm a huge New York Giants fan. So above my desk, I had pictures of Eli Manning with the Vince Lombardi trophy, who Vince Lombardi, coincidentally enough, is my third cousin.
Really?
Yes, he is.
Wow.
So I always had Lombardi quotes over my desk, and that really spoke volumes to the little Packers fans in my classroom. But I had my G-Men, all of my New York Giants memorabilia. I have a little New York Giants lawn gnome. He's about this big. I keep him with me, and it keeps the kids entertained.
Absolutely, and some of the parents too.
So they great parents. I have such wonderful parents I've met, and they say to me, oh, I hear all about your running stories, and I teach math typically, and I have my do now question in the beginning of class. It always has to do with something athletic. So one day I had the children, they were working on a problem that involved ratio, so I gave them a running question. I said, here you go, figure out my weekly running schedule using this ratio method, and they thought that was great. I thought it was hysterical. And then I'm looking at some of them like, I wonder if this would work. So they
come up with a plan for you. Wow.
Oh, yeah, it's fun.
Interesting. Well, that's good to make the homework related to real life, to your personal life. I mean, they take a sort of an invested interest.
They love that. And it's great because the children know that, I mean, I want to hear about their lives. I want to hear about their weekends. And they know they can talk to me. And it makes everything a lot better. And they know I'm there for them. And I love seeing their faces. I could wake up, be having a really bad day, and when I see all of their faces looking at me, I know I made the right decision.
To be a teacher?
Yep.
Okay, no regrets.
No regrets.
That's excellent. Now, let's talk about some of your future challenges. You know, you're into this marathon running, 3 in a row so far, 2 for Martin Richard.
Yep.
Are you going to continue to do that? Or what are some of your new challenges that are coming up?
Absolutely. I do have a total of 4 marathons under my belt. I have 2 New Yorks, 2 Philadelphias. Definitely half marathons are my favorite. I have 22 half marathons under my belt.
That's a lot, 22.
Yeah, I want to make it to 100. So that's one thing I want to do for the future. But
100 halves.
That would be great. And then when I have my 100 party at the finish line, I want a big balloon that says 100, and it's going to be a big deal.
All right.
And then I have all shorter distance races. Now, I've also signed up for the Ironman triathlon for September, but it's on a relay team.
Oh. I guess you're doing the run?
Yes. Oh, my gosh. It's me, one of my best friends, and her fiance, and the 3 of us, we call each other Three's Company. We're a cute little group. We travel to a lot of races together. And she's going to swim, he's going to bike, and I'm going to run. And the run portion is only half marathon, thank God.
Oh, it's not a full Ironman, it's
just a half for
Ironman.
now. But,
okay. But still impressive.
Thank you. We're very excited for that. It's definitely going to be more fun than competitive for us. But
of course. Is it a fundraiser as well?
No, this one actually isn't. This is
for
just
fun.
Yeah, just a weekend away.
Now, where is this?
This is going to be in Atlantic City in September.
Atlantic City, New Jersey?
Yep.
Oh, I thought it was just casinos there.
Yeah, well,
they got,
we'll be in the casinos, we'll be out running, and then we'll be back in there.
Oh, excellent. Obviously, you love your career as a school teacher.
Yes.
So I guess that'll continue.
Yep.
You say you teach math, and are you a substitute teacher still? Or,
I
or
actually just found out this past week I am now hired with the New York City Department of Education out in Staten Island. I am ecstatic and so excited to start that. And I'll be back at the elementary level. That starts in a few weeks in September.
Oh, your school is just around the corner.
Yeah,
Can you believe that?
coming up, I can't believe it.
Oh, so now you're going to have a steady class where the kids see you every day, and not a substitute. Not the pinch hitter or the relief pitcher.
No.
To use some baseball terms, you're going to be the star.
Yeah.
But is that more exciting or a different mindset?
I'm a little nervous to start just because this past year I was teaching in Brooklyn, and Brooklyn and Staten Island are definitely 2 different worlds. But I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to meeting the kids, probably children from the local area, and just looking forward to be back home. Jokingly saying no more easy past holes, but
Excellent.
very excited.
Kristen, you've done all these marathons. Have you done anything interesting that's not a run related?
Yes, I'm very good friends with the Siller family who have the Stephen Siller Foundation. Stephen Siller was a fireman who lost his life on September 11th. And on top of the Tunnel to Towers run, they do the Freedom Tower climb. And that's 104 floors. It's another charity fundraiser race, which I've raised 2 years in a row. I've raised about $750 for that. And 2 years ago, I was hurt and I couldn't complete it. But this past year, I completed the 104 floor stair climb, and I did it in 28 minutes.
I can't imagine it, 28 minutes.
I tell you, it was incredible. It was just so patriotic, so memorial of 9/11, and it meant a lot to me. And again, I know the Siller family. They're wonderful, wonderful people, and their charity money goes towards building homes to injured soldiers. So they're just great people. I love to participate with them as well.
Okay. Oh, so you're going to continue that tradition?
Yes, I will be at the Freedom Tower climb again next
Okay, so a marathon
April.
runner and a stair climber.
I wear many hats.
We have many hats. School teacher.
Kickboxer.
And oh, that's right.
And I skydive too. I just started doing that.
Oh, my goodness. Well, listen, before we run out of superlatives, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. I had a great
Pleasure.
time. Thank you.